What up, y'all? It's Bokeh Bob, and we are back yet again with another Switch review. This time we're going to be looking at this oddly shaped, or shall I say octagonally shaped, bronze switch from Keybay.Tech. Quick disclaimer before we get started, these switches were sent to me for review from Keybay.Tech. However, all opinions are my own and from my experiences using the switches. I usually type on all of these switches for about a week before dropping a Switch review. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, then please consider doing so by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and checking out the affiliate link to the switches below. I also put a link to my beacons page, which will allow you to check out my other social medias and see other recommended products with discount codes. We all like discounts, right? The bronze switch is, shall I say, weird, or is it odd? This switch has an octagonal top housing and stem, which we have recently seen in the Diamond Avalon switches from N&L Keys. Looking over the specs, these switches seem to be a recolor of the Diamond switch. I was honestly surprised with these switches. Not only do they look wild, they have a distinct sound to them that's really hard to explain. I'll just say that it's very nice to see a new shape to MX switch top housings that can give us a variance in sound, along with supporting all keycap profiles, which of course is nice. Let's crack one of these open, check it out, see the specs, and of course, see how they sound. First, it is noted that these switches are manufactured by WFJ Naughty. Not sure if that's someone trolling or not, never heard of this manufacturer before, so if someone knows who the actual manufacturer is, please let me know in the comments below. The top and bottom housings are made out of a blend of PA66 nylon. The bottom housing appears to be a normally shaped MX switch, but the top housing is that weird octagonal shape. The stem is a long pole stem, which, just like the top housing, has a different shape than we're used to seeing. And lastly, the spring is a single stage 22mm long spring that has a 63 gram bottom out. These switches also have a very light coat of factory lube, so we'll keep them stock and see how they sound in the Mode Envoy. Before we hear these switches, I would like you to keep in mind and note that I have been keeping the Mode Envoy I use in sound tests built exactly the same for all my Switch reviews. This allows you to easily compare Switch sounds from review to review. Hopefully this helps you out in the future when deciding on which switches to buy. These switches are very clacky, and I feel they have a slight thin sound to them, which in my opinion could easily be fixed by hand lubing them. What are your thoughts? Do you like how they sound? How about how they look? Let's move on to the perks and quirks, everyone's favorite part. This bronze switch for sure has a unique sound signature and look, which I would count as a perk. I prefer a loud clacky switch, so I actually like these, and I would put them in the same category as an Owlab Neon in terms of how loud they are. I did not hear any weird spring ping or leaf ticking, and they seem to be usable right out of the box, which is always great to see. Now let's quickly move on to the quirks. Here I would say I have two things going against the Switch. The first quirk is that they're new and different. We do not know really what to expect in terms of longevity since it seems to be a newer manufacturer, at least in the Western world where we are now just beginning to see this type of Switch. Secondly would be the price point. At 69 cents a Switch. Nice. I would say these are extremely expensive in the current market, where 45 to 50 cents a Switch seems to be the current meta price point. I think the fact that these look and sound differently than a normal MX Switch may help them in the long run, but it would be nice to see the price drop in the future since nobody is trying to spend that kind of money on a Switch, at least from what I can tell. Recommendation time. These switches look different, sound different, and are for sure unique. If you are a seasoned veteran in the hobby or someone who prefers that high-pitched, clacky sound profile, I would say these are worth to buy. simply because they're different in many ways compared to the normal MX switch that we've all come to love. There isn't anything necessarily wrong with these switches, they're just more on the expensive side, and I would say that hand lubing them is 100% needed to clean up their sound profile. With the shape of the stem and top housing, I also do not think films are needed, as these are pretty tight to begin with. Here's a scuffed stem wobble test from left to right. We have the bronze switch, a B-Sun BCP, and then an Owl Lab Neon. Let me know if you want to see more of these scuffed stem wobble tests in the future. As always, I will put a link to these switches in the description below, and also make sure to check out a couple more of my recent reviews here. The B-Sun Paradise Islands are lit. Also make sure to like the video and subscribe. As always, have a good day and week. Bokeh Bob out.